Hey, what's up? It's Taro, and I'm going to show you how to rotate like a pro in PUBG. The first thing I'm going to talk about is rotating in PUBG. One of the most important things about rotating is getting high ground positions to get a lot of information. So the first spot I'm going to take us is a hill here that is really popular. It gives you a lot of vision of other hills which you can get more information from. So from here, you're going to want to be scouting high ground spots like this hill and this hill over here, so you can get deeper into the circle. So from here, you would pull up your car, something like this, so you can hide behind, and then look at this compound and this hill and get all the information for your team. And then once you know that's clear, if you're like in squads, you're gonna have one of your teammates stay back, most likely, just to watch over you while you're driving up. And then you're going to pull up here while he's looking over to make sure it's clear and get more information. And the rest of your team can also pull up. And you're gonna wanna park your vehicle again this way, blocking that hill, because you're likely gonna have other people taking this hill behind you. So you wanna have cover while you're scouting forward. So once you're at this hill, then you can scout more stuff here. You'll wanna look at this compound and this shack hill, and make sure like everything's clear around you, get all the information for your team. Also scouting this compound, this is a really good compound as well. The next step from here then is, again, you'll have your teammate holding this shack. If this is like a west circle, you're gonna wanna start from here, go to this hill, and then pull up here, and you're gonna have your teammate hold for you again. And you'll move up to this shack, because this is another high ground spot where you can get a lot of information. And that's basically like the most important thing for rotating, is getting to these spots where you can get a lot of info. Make sure this shack's clear, of course. And then from here, you can scout this compound, which is a very good compound because it connects both these high ground hills. So from this, you have control of like easy access to both these hills, which give you so much information. From here, you could scout all these compounds and this next hill as well, which is the fourth hill you're gonna wanna go to. So basically, like, you're just moving one step at a time, leapfrogging each time to these hills with your teammates covering. And yeah, just getting all the information and communicating with your team what you see. And that's just like the biggest thing in PUBG, because information is so huge in this game. When you have 16 different teams, there's people everywhere. And if you're blind rotating or like crashing buildings without information, then you just run the risk of driving straight into a 4-man team and instantly getting out in 16th place. Okay, so for the next thing about rotating, you're going to want to rotate in paths that are like wide open. So while you're driving, you don't want to go close to compounds. So like rotating like this would be bad if you're just going down the road in between this wizard tower and this cube compound. This would be a bad rotate because you're too close to the buildings and you can just get sprayed out of your car. So instead of doing that, you want to like do rotates in places where people are likely not going to be. So instead, you'd come up on this hill, like on the side of this hill, and look at this compound while you're driving. And you're much farther away, so they won't be able to shoot you like out of your car from this far. Or well, they can, but it's a very difficult shot. And then you're gonna wanna stay away from all the other compounds, like come through these open fields is the best way to rotate. And if you're just sending it like through, like kind of a blind rotate, you're gonna wanna just stay in these open paths away from compounds. Like see that compound to the left can't shoot you. You wanna stay away from like this hill like I was talking about, if people are there, make sure you're rotating through wide open areas away from all compounds so you can be the most safe. And here as well, you're going to want to stay like 300 meters away from this compound. Go through these open hills and fields. And then again, this compound on the left here, you're going to want to cut back into this field. And you basically just need to keep your distance, and like especially when you're going through places like this where there's compounds on both sides, like this is where you gotta just go really fast through. You can't slow down or hit anything. Like if you hit a rock or a tree or something, you're gonna be in big trouble in that area. So yeah, pretty much just rotate in open areas and away from compounds. That's a very important point. And then the last thing I want to talk about for rotating is in competitive especially, or even in pubs, you're going to find little ridges and little danger spots that you're going to need to remember, especially in competitive. Like every time you make a little mistake on a big ridge or like flip your vehicle or something, you got to remember things like that because you don't want that happening over and over. So for example, like I know there's ridges such as this one. If you're gonna like rotate through a wide open field, you gotta be careful of things like this, where like if you hit this ridge right here with like a Dacia or a UAZ at full speed, you're gonna flip right here and probably like land and just be in the middle of the open dying to this compound. So it's really important to know your rotate path and know all the dangers of it, because if you make a little mistake hitting this bump right here and you flip, you're just gonna lose like everyone in a rotate. And that's just map knowledge. Like the more you play, obviously you're gonna learn all this stuff more, but it's really important to not just know it, but like keep it in your mind and make sure you're aware of it at all times, because you don't want to make those mistakes like twice or 3 or 4 times. You want to make sure once you learn it, then you'll have it there and you'll remember for all times. This is another one over here. I'll show you. It's a really nasty bump and a lot of people make the mistake on it. And even I've done it. Like even all the pros, they've made these mistakes. But like I'm saying, there are spots where you have to remember for the future. Make sure you don't keep doing them. So right here, like you're gonna be trying to get across this bridge right here because it's a very popular bridge, and you know people can camp this cube here. So you're gonna want to go fast crossing this bridge to make sure you get across safely. But like a lot of people, they'll come in from this angle and there's a big bump right here which they might not know about, and they'll hit it like at full speed, and then they'll crash into this and like get stuck on the bridge here, which is horrible because you'll probably have people maybe in this shack or this tower or this compound and you'll just die on this bridge. So you got to make sure like when you're rotating, you're taking safe spots, and like I said, remembering these little bump spots, because just hitting something like this, like it's gonna kill you almost every time. So when you're taking this rotate path, you're gonna want to come wide of the bridge and make sure you're going like straight over here so you avoid that bump, and then you can go full speed down and then cut left here away from this compound. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned how to rotate better, and I'll see you in the next video.